Why am I dressed, you ask, on Valentine's Day as the most commonplace, innocuous, and ubiquitous of desktop items? A pencil? This edition of Lessons Learned comes from one of my priests, specifically my priest in Puerto Rico, Padre Oscar, Father Oscar. And Father Oscar recently was telling us about Jesus' words about being a prophet and, more importantly, and more relevantly, being a teacher. And he spent his entire sermon making the connection between humans, our purpose, and a pencil. And I took out my phone more than just to follow along the readings in English, and I was taking so many notes, and I was so inspired. I couldn't believe these 7 points, and I'd like to share all of these 7 points with you. What connects us with our purpose and a pencil? Such a common instrument to which everyone can relate, correct? Except maybe millennials who don't write anymore, but that's a long story. The first is that our purpose is on the inside. More relevantly, or more recently, as the remake of Mary Poppins Returns talks about in 13 minutes, a whole song number dedicated to the fact that a book is not its cover. Yet we're made in, if the image and likeness of God, we see first each other's outside, not inside. But like a pencil's true purpose is completely dependent on what a pencil has inside, you, my friend, have a purpose that's completely dependent and will come from your inside. Nothing to do with what people judge on our outside. In fitness, it might help to quote-unquote look the part. Hello, why I have not gotten so many jobs over the years and muscle bodies have. But more importantly, when we are connected to our true purpose, like a pencil's purpose on its inside comes from lead, it's only then with a connection to its inside can we move forward and be connected to our purpose. Second connection of us, our purpose, and a pencil is in the lifetime of a pencil, it will have several points to be made, not just one. Our purpose has several points to make. Our several purposes, if you will, come from developing, meditating on, practicing to make permanent what our purpose is, which come from our inside lead, if you will, to be. Like a pencil doesn't start sharp and start writing, and once dull, finishes its purpose. We, as we get older, substituting innocence for experience and wisdom, do not become dull just because we've lost our first point, if you will, but we must remain glued to the fact that our purpose comes from inside, our purpose comes from our lead, and our lead is more than just one purpose. We have inside several points, if you will. Third, that connects us to our purpose, to a pencil. We do not have one end. We have two ends by nature of a pencil. Goosebumps. This is so exciting to share because we think we have to be perfect. And as Petra Kolber talks about in the Perfection Detox, no one can relate to that. And we set out many times, as I see with the people I mentor, with paralysis by overanalysis, analysis paralysis. If we can't be perfect, then why even try? Well, guess what a pencil has on its other end? It has a point to try to spread its purpose, but it also has by nature an eraser. Not a what if, not maybe, not in case of fire break glass, but an eraser that's meant to be used as we explore what it takes to develop our purpose, our several points, if you will. We have an eraser on the end of our pencil because just like a pencil has an eraser, bound into the definition of a pencil is the presupposition that there will be need for modification as we go along. So there is need for evaluating what we've done and trying to do better. Hence the need for mentoring and consulting and meditation and self-reflecting. I'm not a fan of making the same mistake over and over, as I tell my dear friend and confidant and personal friend and assistant in all things, my personal assistant, Irene Cathy. Always make mistakes, and I will support your mistakes, but never the same ones, please. New ones. So your eraser is for exploring, trial, error, reflecting, reposing, repositioning, and regrowth as we move forward. How wonderful that a pencil has two ends. We have two purposes: to explore and to evaluate, or if you will, erase as we move forward. That's kind of unique in the industry and the makeup of a pencil, that it has by nature the lack of perfection, the presupposition that we'll have mistakes, for example. Number 4, reason that connects us to our purpose, to a pencil, is that we must be available. A pencil might look good and perfect sitting in its sharpened state on a desk, in its pencil holder, or in its cup, if you will. But a pencil does nothing being looked at. A pencil has to be available for others and say, with a service mentality, use me. I will try to make my points. I won't be perfect. I will get dull. I will need some, coming up soon, sharpening, but I must be available. A pencil on its own accord can do, just by sitting there, absolutely nothing. Number 5, we are connected to the nature of our purpose and the nature of a pencil in the fact that we must be open to pain. What? A pencil, when it gets dull in spreading its purpose, has to be sharpened by those around it, correct? That's a painful process, the painful process of sharpening. As we get sharpened by life, if you will, and I'm talking about here the intentions of others to painfully inflict sharpening on us, or because of all good intentions sometimes go awry, no good deed goes unpunished, if you will, sharpening occurs. Whatever the intention of others, sharpening occurs, but it's for a greater good. We can't spread our purpose through both ends without getting dull, if you will. So we must be open to the fact that life will teach us to grow, to sharpen ourselves, to evolve, to expose more lead, to be more connected to our deeper purpose of experience to spread forward. Because looking perfect on our desk, we can achieve absolutely nothing. Correct? Number 6, reason that connects us to our purpose, to a pencil, is that we must be willing to leave dirt. And we must be willing to leave dirt, or leave a trail, or leave a mark, if you will, 2 ways from our 2 ends. A pencil cannot achieve its purpose if it doesn't leave some amount of trail or dirt, if you will, correct? It must leave its lead. It bears great import what kind of lead it leaves. We bear great import based on what kind of lead we leave, how we fulfill our purpose, how we spread our love, if you will. But we have to be open-minded that there will be no perfectionism, and we will leave trails, which is dirt, from 2 things. Not only our intent of leaving lead and making the world a better place, but through our imperfections and errors built into the nature of this wonderful word called human. We share human, male, female, me too, us too, why not me, hashtag anything, hashtag human. We are built in to spread humanity, and that includes spreading some dirt, spreading some trail of our lead and of the eraser marks we make in cleaning up, if you will, our own business. Or, as that wonderfully small book, All the Important Things of Life I Learned in Kindergarten. It's a long title, but it's a great book. And one of those lessons of kindergarten is clean up your own mess, not call teacher to fix things for you. We spread our lead, so maybe that's a new hashtag. Hashtag spread my lead. Hashtag spread our lead. Hashtag spread your lead. Not sure. Spread my lead sounds a little sexual. But I think that when we hashtag spread our lead, we are open-minded and committed to the fact that we will leave lead and we will leave eraser marks in our effort to evolve and transition, and shift happens. Hashtag a bunch of shift, right? This is a change in philosophy from having to set out and let me be completely prepared to be completely perfect. Let's be prepared to know that we'll use our pointer and we'll use our eraser as we keep what works and evolve what could serve me in a better way, or perhaps on a higher vibration, right? And number 7, for being connected to ourselves, being connected to our ultimate purpose, and being connected to our pencils, if you will, is the similarity that we and our purpose in our humanity are breakable, and we have to be open to our limits. A pencil takes tons of abuse, tons of pressure, and only can it spread its purpose by receiving pressure. Not sitting on a desk saying everything is going really well, so now it's a time to write. It can only be placed in a position to put lead is when it's under pressure. We have to be able to rule our nerves so our nerves don't rule us, rise to the occasion of humanity and try to spread our purpose, bearing in mind that we have limits. We are the strongest pencil, the widest pencil, the most colorful of pencils is breakable. It will take direct pressure in the most powerful way, but it will take no pressure in the most destructive way. So too, I believe, are we fragile, and so too, I believe, we are breakable, and so too, we must celebrate our humanity in the fact that we have limits. Just like a pencil is limited by how much lead it has and how much humanity or how much purpose it can spread. It sort of is limited by what's inside. We are limited by what's inside, right? Whether you think you can or you think you can't, or whether you think a glass is half full or half empty, it is neither. It is neither. It is 100% full. It is half full of liquid, water, milk, soy, and it is half full of air. But your glass is 100% full. You always, hashtag, always have a choice. So, as we summarize our incredible similarities to this common thing, a yellow pencil, we are defined by our inside, though they might define us by our outside. We have two ends to spread two different kinds of purposes: our drive and our humanity, which is not perfect. We have to be able to be open, to be used, and be available to our purpose and spread. We have to be open-minded to pain, because it is only through pain and sharpening or discomfort that we grow, because our perfect evaluations and our perfect days and perfect sunrises are the days we enjoy and for which we express gratitude, but they're not the days after which we can say, today was a day that evolved my humanity and pushed me towards my limits. So this is my comfort zone, but this is where my magic happened because of my pencil sharpening, if you will. And ultimately, we have to leave dirt on this world. And how we leave our dirt, and where we leave our dirt, and with which words we leave our dirt is up to us. But my friends, it seems to me we are so similar to the most commonplace of items, a pencil, that I will never look at again, thanks to Father Oscar, who had me look at 7 reasons why it's okay to be unique and different and not judged appropriately by so many people who say you don't look the fitness part, so you're not going to get these jobs. And that's okay. My purpose is on my inside, and your purpose is on your inside. And I point very mindfully and very carefully and with full intention. With love in my heart and a firm commitment to continue to spread Wellness Without Walls. I'm Lawrence, expressing my gratitude for allowing me to share this lessons learned so far with you. And I conclude this edition by asking you to explore, reflect, and perhaps share someone that you know, including the person you see in your mirror today, on a day traditionally of love, Valentine's Day, who can stop and reflect on the similarities with a very common item from our desk, a pencil, for a very uncommon look at the 7 ways that we have a purpose to spread from multiple ends, with pain included, with erasers necessary, and love and dirt to leave in our wake.